12 fall plants for container gardens and hanging baskets. Coral bells, a long-favored species for gardens, has also become a favorite container plant. These perennial plants come in a range of colors and leaf textures, and they are almost impossible to kill. Coral bells is a mounding plant and it looks great on its own, paired with contrasting plants, or with plants that offer varying shades of the same color. Coral bells can work especially well with gourds, mums, and ornamental grasses. Choose a dark, almost black leaf, like dolce, licorice, or the lighter, dolce, peach melba, for a terrific fall plant that works well with many fall decorations. They also look lovely when paired with pumpkin planters. Verbena is a large genus of prolific blooming species, but the varieties most often grown in containers are shorter varieties that are usually grown as annuals. They are suitable fall flowers on the basis of a long bloom period and their tolerance for cool temperatures. Many verbenas are hardy down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit and will continue flowering even after the first frost. Verbenas look great either on their own or filling in spaces and spilling over the edges of garden planters, window boxes, or hanging baskets. Colors range from white to brilliant reds to deep dark blue to purples and pinks. This warm weather plant is grown as an annual in most climates. This profuse bloomer produces flowers that resemble small petunias, to which it is related, and holds up well as the weather cools in the fall. Million bells is more often grown in containers than in garden soil. It has a mounding habit that works well in conjunction with trailing plants in mixed hanging baskets or large containers. Although not a flowering plant, this ornamental grass makes a good centerpiece for large mixed containers, presented best when surrounded by cascading plants. The stalks are topped with attractive bristling seed heads in late summer, which last well into fall. The plant has an arching, clumping growth habit and grows up to 5 feet tall. Purple fountain grass is a warm weather perennial often grown as an annual because it grows quickly from seeds. A warm weather perennial generally grown as an annual, Oxalis is elegant and cheerful. It is exceedingly easy to grow and likes partial shade to full shade. Oxalis is a mounding plant and grows to be 12 to 18 inches high, making it a good plant to use as a filler in a container. It comes in several colors including a nearly black, charmed velvet, and a burgundy color called charmed wine. Another nice feature about Oxalis is that you can bring it indoors to overwinter. Ornamental cabbages are delightfully chubby and cheerful plants, while the kales are spiky. However, both of these plants will take you well into fall with style and beautiful sage greens blended with pinks and purples. As a bonus, the colors of flowering cabbage and kale only intensify as the weather gets colder, especially after a frost. Cabbages are wonderful grouped in either rustic garden planters or low baskets. They also bring great color and texture to mixed container gardens. Kales can look great in funky shallow baskets, window boxes, or modern metal planters with clean lines. These are bold plants, so don't be afraid to plant them in unusual containers or combine them with unlikely companions. The large Sedum genus recently was split with 33 species reassigned to the Hylotelephium genus. This included some standard favorites such as Autumn Joy, now known as Hylotelephium, Herbstfreude Autumn Joy. However, they are all still generally known by the common name of Sedum or stonecrop. The potted garden mums that are sold so prevalently for fall display are typically forced into late bloom by commercial growers, who keep them closely pruned until late July, waiting until early fall to display them for sale at nurseries. If you are growing your own potted mums from transplants purchased in the spring, they will be likely to bloom in mid to late summer unless you pinch off all buds and keep the shoots pruned back. If you stop pruning in early July, the plants will likely flesh out and begin blooming in September. The blue or indigo purple flowers of Aster are a symbol of the fall garden and can work equally well in a fall container garden. Because most types grow rather tall, as much as 6 feet, these are plants best suited for very large containers. As container plants, they do best when planted in rich soil and kept moist but not soggy. After flowering is complete, cut the stems back completely and store the potted plants in a cold frame or greenhouse. Pansies are classic cool weather annuals that typically make their appearance in the early spring garden, but they can be planted again for the fall after the weather has cooled. Pansies don't do well in the hot months of midsummer. They need fairly moist soil, so water them frequently when growing them in containers or hanging baskets. Black-eyed Susans are a traditional form of perennial daisy that can be grown in containers as well as in the garden. They bloom from midsummer to late fall and can be overwintered if the containers are placed in a sheltered area for the cold months. Unlike many perennials, black-eyed Susans are relatively easy to grow from seed. Use well-drained potting soil. The various forms of perennial coneflower are standard fall bloomers in the garden, blooming with daisy-like flowers in late summer that last through the fall, but they can also work well in containers. In most climates, the containers can be moved to a sheltered area to successfully overwinter. Or they can be grown as annuals, planted afresh in containers each spring. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.